back, but
What episode is it? Because I don't even know.
this is episode 34.
Man, I feel like the last time we said that was like 21. Maybe I've been going for a while.
Yeah, I think we say that like every episode that we do. But um man, I want to get right into it. Tommy Hayden, he put you on blast. What's up with that? Let me read to you what he wrote, because he didn't just put you on blast, right? On the social networkings, on the interwebs, on the
When was it?
Facebooks and
How
all
long
that,
ago
right?
was it? What was the date on it?
Um August 30th.
August 30th. Oh, so it was like the day that you told me.
Yeah. So let's talk about the story. I saw this on Facebook, and I messaged you because we do the podcast together. So it was like, hey, I see your name. It's just like, hey, what's
We
up?
do the
And I was
podcast.
like,
It's our
Tommy.
voice, so we chat shit all the time to each other.
Exactly. I was like, Tommy, he put you on blast. He put Musin Corbre on blast.
Shout outs to
Turning down
Musin,
the
my
fight.
boy.
Yes. Is he in Phuket right now?
No, Musin hasn't been here in a while. Musin is actually like just a side story. Musin's an OG in the game. He fought Nick Diaz like in Strike Force.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should watch the highlights of it. But Musin's like an OG, man. He's like, he's in his mid-30s, but he's from so I trained in Atlanta before I moved to Tiger or to Thailand. And Musin is in Savannah. He has a gym down there. And my Muay Thai coach, his Muay Thai coach are the same guy, Manu Into. Shout outs to Manu. But yeah, Musin's like a very skilled fighter. He hasn't fought recently, but he's a very skilled fighter, and he's especially on his feet, he's very good. But
Well,
yeah, he's one of my boys.
Musin, he responded to the call out,
Yeah.
so I could read to you what he said.
Yeah. I didn't see
Did you
that.
see it?
No, I didn't look that much
Okay,
into
he just
it.
said he just opened a new gym. He's been working on building a business, but what's weird about his comment is that he said he could John Nutt, the guy that runs the show,
Yeah.
Metal Dojo. Shout out to Full Metal Dojo. They doing big things.
Yeah.
And he said, put me on the same card as you and Fussell, and we could scrap next. We're fighting at featherweight, right? So basically, Musin, he's a featherweight.
Yeah, like me.
Okay. And then, so like he called out Musin. He said Musin turned on the fight. He said some indie guy turned on the fight. Then he puts your name in there and says that you won't fight him. But it's weird because he said, he basically said you turned down the fight. So tell me the story. Like, did you turn down the fight?
Well, so I've never really I think I spoke to John Nutt when I first moved here 3.5 years ago, or he spoke to, we spoke to each other because I didn't really know him then about fighting. And nothing's come of that. Since then I've fought in multiple places and nothing ever was said. And I have guys I'm at all the shows most of the time I go to his shows because I have fighters, up and coming fighters fighting on it. And I was in Macau for, I believe it was CKF last month, at the beginning of the month, the weekend after the 1FC. And John, John's my boy, and John's a likable dude. Him and I have a good relationship, I like chopping it up with John. He's a knowledgeable guy about MMA, and he's always got a different take on things, which I respect, and I that's why I like talking to him. And he just nonchalantly asked me. He was we were talking, and I guess maybe not nonchalant, but we were just talking small talk. We were at the arena. I think we were having a dip together actually, and he was like, I've never really spoke to you about fighting for me, and maybe he forgot if he talked to me when I first moved here, but he was like, I never really spoke to you about fighting for me. Would you ever consider for fighting for me in Full Metal Dojo? And I was thinking if you wanted maybe Tommy Hayden. And then he said as well, but I don't know, what your price is or whatever, what you want to fight. And I was just I just told him, I was like, John, I appreciate it, bro, but probably not, because, I'm not going to fight for, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 baht. And, which is up to $2,000 or whatever it is, or, whatever it was. I mean, I wouldn't even fight for more than that. So it was just and Tommy, he's a good dude. I like him, always speak to him. I don't know him that well, but we have, I believe he trains in Bangkok with Shannon and Rika. who fight in the 1FC, and I train them as well. But like I don't have a. It just didn't. It like when you told me that, like I was like, what? Like I didn't even think about like that I had spoke to John like a couple weeks ago, or that we had spoke, and it just like it made me laugh because then obviously I clicked on it and looked at it, but I'm not one to like get bent out of shape. Like if somebody were to like talk shit to me and be like, oh, you know, like you're not fighting me, like you turn me, and he didn't talk shit. He just like said that, put that in the thing, and to me, it like whatever. Dude's trying to get a fight, so you know, more power to him. Because in this day and age, it's all about social media and like, you know, talking shit and like, you know, getting like interaction with people and wanting like, you know, fans to get involved and stuff. But like for me, it's just like I know my price, and I'm not gonna if it's not my price, I'm not gonna fight. Like I don't care. Like, you know, he could say whatever, and I still like the dude. Like I'll chop it up with him the next time I see him, and probably give him shit, be like, yo, whatever. But and have a beer. But like I have no problem. Like I know what my price is for fighting, and I'm not gonna like bro. I've been traveling the world for like the last 6 months. Like I fought in Lebanon in December for Phoenix, and since then, like literally for the last month, I've trained jujitsu a couple of times. I've wrestled some. I've ran a couple of times, but like I hurt my knee after my last fight, and I haven't really done much. I've been a coach. Like that's, you know, that's my job. I'm still a fighter and stuff. And of course, like I still want to fight and be active, but I've been traveling the world and like and cornering people, you know? So I've been really busy. Like I've been training people and traveling. So I haven't even been thinking about fighting. So it just made me laugh. Um, but yeah, like the main thing is like I said, I have my price. I know what it is, and I'm not gonna fight for less than that. Like, why put myself through a whole training camp and make this amount of money when I know I can put myself through a training camp and make this amount of money? So that's my thing.
All right. Well, you know, everybody has their position, and you know, like you can't just fight all the time, or you know, some
Yeah.
people might have injuries or whatever.
Well, yeah,
But
and I
he's
mean,
trying to
people.
if you know, from his side, his viewpoint, from what you can read, is that he's probably frustrated that he cannot get an opponent
Yeah,
for
I'm sure he
FMB
is, man.
15,
So
which
like,
is coming up in a couple months.
yeah, so I'm sure he is. Like, he probably is frustrated and like, you know, whatever, like tagging people and stuff. But like I said, it made me laugh, and like I have no like ill will towards him or like, and I'm sure he'll listen to the podcast because he'll probably be tagged in it and stuff. So like I have no problem with that. Like when I see him, I'll talk to him or whatever. Like, but as I said, it doesn't bother me or like affect my life or in any way, because that kind of stuff, like some people, you know, like some people are like, of course I'm competitive. Like I've wrestled my whole life, I fight. And some people may like get really wound up about that. But you know, that kind of stuff, like it just doesn't bother me. So
It seems like he wants to defend the sword, because he, you
oh
know,
yeah.
in the last Full Metal Dojo, not the last one, but I think Full Metal Dojo 13,
Yeah, I think the one before that.
yeah, he won the sword by defeating Will Chope, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
And
cornered Will for that fight. Will's one of my good friends.
yeah, and he he seems like he wants to defend that sword, and he's trying to find people, but it seems like the people that he's calling out, they're not even lightweights, and that belt is kind of like a lightweight belt or lightweight sword. Let's, you know, that's what it is.
The lightweight sword.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
guess so. No, it's a cool sword. It's
yeah,
but yeah, I
the
guess you got
scene
a
is
point.
he's a featherweight. You fought at featherweight your whole career, right?
Yeah, I think I've had one. I think my first couple were at lightweight, and I had one like random one in China at lightweight. But yeah, most of my fights are featherweight.
And then he called out Dylan Fussell, who is actually, I don't know, he's fought at lightweight, but he's saying that, you know, he wants to fight at welterweight. So, you know, and in the post that he made, he said that he doesn't want to he doesn't want to fight at welterweight because basically he wants to fight at lightweight.
So it's
And
all me. It's myself and Moosin's fault then.
I guess, I don't
Me
know,
and
but
Moosin just.
eventually he's gonna fight somebody. It's just, you know, who's he going to fight to defend the you know, the sword? Who do you think he can fight like a lightweight in Southeast Asia?
Bro, I don't even know. Like, who else is at lightweight?
Who can he fight at lightweight? Do they need to bring somebody in? Is there anybody in, Phuket or Bangkok that is a lightweight? Do you have anybody at your camp that is a lightweight that can fight at Full Metal Dojo that's not signed to another promotion?
No, no, I think they do have somebody, bro. Now that I think about it, and I don't know who it is, but actually, who's the matchmaker for Full Metal Dojo, he like messaged me about all my fighters, like who I wanted to fight for Full Metal Dojo on the next show.
Mm-hmm.
He actually messaged me, when was it? Last weekend. I was in Callout, which is like right outside of Bangkok, like 2 hours, and I just took like a weekend holiday. And he had messaged me, and I like sent all my fighters. But he also like said, "Hey, I don't know if you've thought about it," and he like mentioned it again, or he mentioned it to me because I had never spoke to him about it, and I was just like, "Yeah, bro, I spoke to John already about it. Like, I'm not keen to fight for a small amount of money." And he said, like, in the post, he was like, "If you want to, cool, but I think we've already got it sorted." Da 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 da. I don't remember what it was. He didn't give me a name, so maybe they did find someone for him. I don't know, but like I said, doesn't
And
bother
also,
me, bro.
I think at the next Full Metal Dojo, from, reading little snippets online, Javier Trujillo is going to fight for the welterweight title.
Oh, nice.
It seems like, but I don't
So
know.
they have another
It's
title.
not for sure, but from what I'm reading online, I'm not saying that like John Nudd or anybody told me these things, but from what I'm reading online, it seems like he is going to. But the opponent has not been set yet. So
Nice.
hopefully, Javier, he's a beast, man. He's been killing it in Full Metal
Yeah,
Dojo.
for sure.
He's got that fucking, what is it, 4-second knockout, and then he choked out the other dude.
Right.
Dominating performances basically in Full Metal Dojo. So I think
Yeah,
he deserves a shot.
I think so as well. Like, he has, like you said, been dominating, and they have a lot of good, like, man, Full Metal Dojo is like you said before. I think it's like a show like no other show in MMA, and they have a lot of good fighters, like a lot of good up and coming fighters. They have a lot of great Southeast Asian fighters from the, like, Thailand, Cambodia, different countries like that are, great in Muay Thai, and they're, Kimmer boxing and stuff, that are transferring into MMA. And I think they have a lot of potential. But they also have, like, some older guys like Tommy and Will and other people who fight occasionally, or Musin, if he fights. Like, there's, they still have like good people. Like, I get not because the other guys are good and girls, but they have, I guess, veterans, you should say, that are still fighting. So it's good.
Well, Dylan Fussell, man, I've seen him fight for like
Yeah, bro. He's
PXC.
good.
He's been around. He's pretty fucking good, right?
Yeah, I
He
believe
trains out of
Chiang
what
Mai,
is it,
I
Team
think.
Quest.
Yeah, Team Quest in Chiang Mai. I think
Yeah.
he fought that guy Baz. I don't remember if that's his correct name, but he's from Afghanistan, and I think he trained at Phuket Top Team. If it's the guy that I'm thinking of, I
Mm-hmm.
think he fought him, and it was like a really good fight.
He fought JJ Ambrose in
Yeah,
PXC. That was a pretty good fight. That was a close fight. He lost by decision, but really close fight. I think they do, if they set Javier up with a fight for the title. I think Dylan Fussell is a good fucking fight because he's a pretty decent name from around the region.
yeah,
He's had some big fights. He's won some good. He won a decent amount of fights against some decent opponents. So they should probably try to make that happen, man. I think that would be cool.
yeah,
But the Tommy thing, hopefully he gets an opponent and
yeah. I hope he
double
does.
title fights, dude, in the next Full Metal Dojo. That's pretty nice. Do you have any of your fighters kind of locked in on the next Full Metal Dojo?
I wouldn't say locked in, but I've like offered I want my both my tops to fight. Both the Thai guys. Um, Possibly one of my Thai girls who's a beast. She will be a beast. Everyone will know her about her in the near future. Um, and Anvar Boynazarov, who is he's trains Muay Thai at Tiger. He's fought Sanchez. He fight not well, don't get excited. It's not him fighting, but his younger brother, Noi. He is hopefully he'll be fighting. So he's had one amateur fight. He's a good Muay Thai fighter. and he's transitioned into MMA at an amateur fight 2 months ago in Malaysia, and he won that. So hopefully I'll get him on the card as well.
Top Noi, what weight class is Top Noi?
He fights both bantamweight and flyweight.
And Y2K, what weight class is he?
He's bantamweight. I'm not sure if he's made flyweight. I don't want them to fight because I've coached him before as well. But like,
I know, but if they
but
do
I know,
make
like,
a
I'm sure like
bantamweight
his
title
side.
fight,
Yeah, I guess
the
that could be
rematch
good.
would be sick.
Yeah, of course it would. And of course I'm gonna go with Top Noi because he's my guy.
Yeah.
Like I trained Y2K for like a little bit, and I developed a relationship with him. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of potential. He's been doing well in MMA, and I wish him nothing but the best. But obviously, if he fights Top Noi, like I'm gonna have to. It's my guy. So, but yeah, like you're right. It would be like because they both improved since the first fight, and obviously the first fight was a fiasco. Not a fiasco. Like Y2K won it.
Controversially, a little
Yeah,
bit.
controversially, but like it is what it is. Like Oliver made a good, like he made it. He did what he had to do. Like he's the ref. It's his, it's his call, and I respect that. And at the time, like I was probably a little bit emotional because it's my guy, and da 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 da. But he made the right call. It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Oliver Koss, man, he's in Southeast Asia. There's no one better.
No, not at all.
There's not even close.
He's a great referee, and he's an even better person. Like he's a guy that like I don't see him that often. I see him at the events that I go to, but I like to hang out with Oliver, man, because he's like the type of person you want to be around. He's super positive about everything, and he's just a really really great, sincere person.
A funny story about Oliver. I never met Oliver, but when I was at FMD 13, and like I was part of media, so like I was near the speakers, sitting there near the speakers, right? And then what is it? The ring girls were next to me sitting down, and so was Joanne Ash. And you know Joanne Ash, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I was sitting next to her, and then there's all these people sitting there, and he pretty much he knows all the other people. He knows Joanne, probably. He knows everybody. I'm sitting there, right?
Yeah, it's like a
And he
small in
points me
Southeast
out.
Asia. It's a small knit community.
Yeah. So he points me out because he's probably never seen me before. And he's telling me I need to get out of that area, right? Out of all the people that's sitting there, he's telling me to get out of that area. And I'm like, is that his job? Like, is your job security? What's going on with this dude, man? I was like, man, I ain't moving, man. Like, what the like
so
he'll
what
tell
happened?
me and I'm just like, whatever. And then he comes back later and he sees me and he points at me, he smiles and shit. Like, and I was just like, what are you gonna do, man? Like, I wasn't like flexing on him or nothing like that, but still, like, you're not security. It's like you're the fucking referee. Focus on, securing the.
So did you guys talk after that?
Huh?
Did you talk after that?
No, I never talked to him before. That's that's my only interaction
Hey, you gotta
with that
come
guy.
to the next Full Metal Dojo. Then we gotta get you guys linked up.
I don't know, but like whatever it is, like
cool
I
people.
respect him because he's a very good fucking ref. I've been watching him ref for a long time. He does all the one championship shows. He does the Full Metal Dojos. He does I think he does the Malaysian invasion stuff, right? So he does a good job. Like he's way better than fucking Yuji Shimada. That last show we talked about the referee going down and with those guys, but
yeah, Oliver's a great ref.
Yeah, but Oliver Koss, I respect his reffing. I don't know him as a person. That's awesome, my only interaction with him, right? Like,
well, I got to get you guys linked up because
I felt like like I was like, this dude, why are you pointing me out, man? I'm just chilling.
I don't know. I mean, maybe like because you definitely don't look tired. Maybe he was like, "Yo, who's this Korean dude?" Like just sat up in the media area.
I know. Maybe he thought I was like a terrorist or some shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on, right?
You're from North Korea, bro. Like you was trying to squeeze in.
Probably because I was wearing my my Korean hat too. So he was.
Yeah, you fitted on.
Huh? No, there was a different one. It's for the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. I don't know if he was doing his job.
Dude, hey, next time you're around, we'll have to get a beer. Oliver's he's cool people.
Yeah. But other than that, man, I think that Full Metal Dojo with Tommy, like calling people out. He's probably basically doing the Conor McGregor shit, right? Because I don't know Tommy's history that much, but I don't think he really was the type of guy to be calling people out and stuff like that. I've never seen that before. So maybe he is, I don't know. But he's building hype for the next Full Metal Dojo, and I think that's great for him
Yeah,
and
no, for
for
sure,
his
bro.
team.
Like even him calling me out, I haven't spoke to him since then. Like, yo, more power to you, bro. I hope you do your thing. Like,
Yeah. It's it's building some hype, man. That's what you need. You need
yeah,
people to
hey,
start talking.
you
We're
just
talking
asked me.
about it.
Yeah, you asked me questions about it. So yes, of course, it's building up hype. So
It's
do
fun,
your
man.
thing.
Like, I hope he gets a good opponent, and I hope Javier gets a good opponent because both those dudes, they go to fight. You know what I mean? It's not like they're gonna be sitting there and you know not fighting. You know what I mean? Because that cage is super small,
Yeah,
and if you get in there, you're gonna have to fight. There's no running around, right? So
right.
it's all good. Um, where were you last week?
Last week I went to the Foo Fighters concert in Bangkok on Thursday, and then
Oh
I
man,
was
I thought you were at some fights and shit, some bullshit ass full fighters,
the
man.
3 weekends before that I was away.
Yeah, but you're at some bullshit ass Foo Fighters.
Yeah, and then I
Man,
went to.
Nirvana is
Nah, I was
dead.
only there for
Man,
one
don't
night.
try to live through that. Nirvana is dead. You forgot. You talking to the dude that grew up in Seattle when Nirvana was at their peak and when
Yeah,
he killed himself. I was living there. I was in middle school.
you were in the grunge era.
Yes, I was there. I was living in that area where grunge was born.
Yeah, well,
Like the Foo Fighters, yeah, they have some cool songs.
hey, bro, you know what's funny is like when they played it was last Thursday night because I was only in Bangkok for that day, like just for the concert, and the next morning I left and I went with my girlfriend like 2 hours outside of Bangkok. It's called Callout. It was like a national park. It was quite cool, but yeah, the Foo Fighters, like I think the last time that they played in Thailand was in 1996, and they had like a 12 song list. Like, how crazy is that?
The
That's
fuck,
insane.
96?
96, bro. It's 21 years later.
There was
Right?
Foo Fighters in 96?
Yes.
That is crazy. That is crazy shit, man. Because I think Kurt Cobain killed himself in like not much earlier than that, and he formed
Yeah.
that band quick.
Yeah, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, he rode that wave right. Because the other dude, you don't even know what he's doing anymore. The
Yo,
drummer.
and my boy Adrian from Fairtex, he's half Thai, but he did security for him. And he like sent me a photo like the next day on Friday, and he's like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing? You still in Bangkok?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm in Khao Yai." And he was like, sent me this photo. He was like hanging out with the band, still doing security. Took him to the fights on the next night, like was just chilling.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to do security.
Yeah, clearly that was for him.
Hey, what I wanted to talk to you about is not like like Conor McGregor, Mayweather, they fought, but what I wanted to talk to you about is Nate Diaz and Brendan Schaub, because
Yo,
that
I
shit
saw
is
that.
funny to me.
How great was that? Hey, Nate Diaz is like one of him and his brother. Like, yo, I love them. Like, cause it's not my style at all. That's like something I wish I could be. Like if I could be something like that, I wish I could be like those dudes because it's like I think if I was I met Nate Diaz one time, like in Atlanta. There used to be this. Well, I'm sure it's still there. It's called Wild Bills, and they used to have fights there. Um, it's in like outside of Atlanta where I worked in Duluth, Georgia, and like they've had some good fighters come through there, like Clay Harbison, who was on he's like one of my buddies. He was on the Ultimate Fighter in the UFC for a couple fights, and they've had some other good fighters like fight there. And Atlanta used to have a really good fight scene, and they brought the promoter David. He brought, I believe it was him. He brought Nate Diaz in as like a guest appearance one time, and I just like met him, and my friend was like talking to him, and my friend was kind of drunk, and I was just like, "Yo, Mike, like if you see him, don't say any crazy shit. Like just keep it cool. Like, hey, what's up? Let's take a photo, kind of shit, and get out." Because like I feel like with the Diaz brothers, bro, like you never know what's gonna happen. Like you say the wrong shit, and they're gonna slap you. Like they don't give a shit who's around, where you're at, anything. But yeah, bro. Like I saw that. That was funny.
Hey, like Brendan Schaub, he retired, he blew up, he took advantage of his situation in the
Yeah, for
best
sure.
possible way. But what I
Capitalized.
don't like about Brendan Schaub is that you don't know what he is. To me, I think what he portrays is the fakest shit. Like, I don't think he says what he thinks will bring more attention to him.
Not like
Well,
you. You always stay true to what you believe.
I don't know. Maybe I
Nah,
do,
you
maybe
do,
I don't.
baby. 100%, John, you do. That's why I love you, because what you see is what you get. You ain't
But the,
changing
but
nobody.
another thing is that is he a comedian or is he an analyst?
I think he's
Like,
everything, isn't he? He's like a jack of all
but
trades.
but like the problem with that is that if you're a comedian and then you're an analyst, right? You're a jack of all trades and all this shit, and then you say something as an analyst, but you're joking around and you say something wrong, then you could just say you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Like you're not responsible for what you say because you
Yeah,
could
I
just
guess
jump
you're right. I can
back
see.
and forth, and that to me that blurs the lines of like who he is. And also if you listen to like some of the stuff that he does, because me, I listen to the like I don't really listen to that many podcasts. Usually I never listen to MMA podcasts because I do a fucking MMA podcast. Why would I fucking listen to all these other MMA podcasts? Then I'll just be saying what they say. I won't be
Right.
expressing my own views, right? But I listen to like comedian podcasts like um I listen to like Bert Kreischer and all these other dudes that are comedians that because they're interesting, like they say funny shit. But when I listen to him and his banter, it's it's like he just follows what the other guy wants to hear like half the time. And another thing is like when they had him for the boxing shit,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was going straight up WWE. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. Like it seems like his agenda, of course, is to support MMA, but then he always like falls back on that comedian thing. I'm a Conor Dick Rider and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
And when Nate
It's kind
Diaz
of not
went up
cool.
to him and straight up said like, what's up, my dude?" Like
Yeah.
like you saw the bits kind of come out on him, like a
Yeah.
little bit.
Bro,
You know,
because,
when he
hey,
tried
I'm
to
going to be
explain
real.
that shit
Like,
again.
I'm going to be 100%. Because if that was like, I feel like, because I know people like that, bro. And it's just like the way, like, where they're from and where they're raised. Like, if, like, that would be awkward. Like, maybe he was just like, he didn't get it, And then, like, all of a sudden, like, Nate, like, said what he had to say. Like, I'd be like, oh, like, I don't know what I would say, because I wasn't in that position. But I feel like I have been in that position a couple of times, and like maybe I say something as a joke, and then like somebody's like, "Yo, what?" And then you're just like, "Whoa, like I didn't mean it like that," or whatever. But yeah, it's
You
awkward.
see, me, I'm not a fighter, and like, like most of the like, fucking 100% of the fighters that I come in contact with, they will whip my ass. So I know that, like, and plus, like I'm kind of careful. If I just met you, I probably wouldn't say much to you. Unless I really know you, then I could fuck with you. Like I'll say some shit to you that's like overboard. But like if I just met you, I probably wouldn't even say like three things to you. A
Yeah,
little, I'll conversate back and forth or whatever, right? But say like I was in a situation like that where a fighter, and mind you, both these dudes are fighters anyways, right? Or they were fighters. One's a fucking giant, fucking heavyweight, and the other dude's a fucking lightweight, right? So there's a huge difference. But me, myself, like if I was in a situation with Nate Diaz and he said some shit back like that, like kind of confrontational, like I'm a type of dude. Of course, you're not gonna fight the dude because I'll get my ass whooped. But I'll go around. I'll be like, all right, it's all good. Then I'll wait for you outside with a fucking bottle or something and a baseball bat. And I just fucking clip you with the knees and shit. Fuck you, right? But that's just me. You know what I mean? Like I'm expressing like how I would take care of shit, right? Because that's how I am. But um, and it might be some bitch shit, but hey, I'm not gonna sit there and fight you, and I know you're gonna whip my ass.
right,
And we're not in a ring; we're in the street, so the street is different. There's no rules,
right.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
But those dudes, they're not in the ring. But Nate came back. But did you see the one where they had the subtitles?
No.
No, they have the one
Oh
with
yeah,
the
yeah. No,
subtitles.
no, no. I did. I saw that one. Like the first one I saw wasn't that clear, and then
Yeah.
I saw that one. Yes.
And in the subtitles, it says Brendan says like, Connor pieced you up, and that's when the tide change of that conversation, right? Is when
Yes.
Brandon was like, hey, Connor pieced you up, right? And then the dude
Oh, for sure.
flipped. He's all like, what? And then he went at him. He's like, fuck you, dead.
Yeah.
And then he had to leave. And
He
then when
wasn't gonna be
Brandon,
having none of that shit.
no, he ain't having that shit. But you see, the thing is, like you said, those types of dudes, you have to be careful around them,
Yeah, for
especially
sure. Hey,
if his
but at the
homies are
same
with them
time,
too.
on the same
Because you don't
token,
even know
like,
who his homies are. Like his
right.
homies are not fighters. They're not like, oh, I have like a reputation to keep or anything like that. They'll come at you any way they can. You know what I mean?
But
Like
at the same time, like if he's one of your boys, you're set because he'll
yeah.
ride for you at any moment. Like he's
For
ready
real.
to go
Because
all
if
the
you go
time.
out, yeah, if you go out with one of those dudes, they expect you to ride with them. They don't, they ain't no
Hey,
like you just hanging
there's
out and
no
shit.
like gray area. It's either
Yeah,
you're in or you're out.
exactly. And
So I
Brendan, he
respect that
was
about them.
dolo.
Like that's why I like them, bro. Like when I first got into MMA, I was like, man, what's wrong with these guys? But now it's like, yo, they don't give it. Like I just saw something, whether or not it's fake news, I don't know. But I saw like Nate Diaz's, because they're talking about the Conor and the Nate Diaz trilogy fight, and somebody said, I don't remember who it was, like he expects like 21 or 22 million dollars or some shit like that. But like, yo, what a G. Like, it's like, all right, this is what I expect. If you can do it, great. If not, whatever. I'm gonna keep doing my thing.
For
And like,
real.
bro, love him or hate him, like people are talking about him, and like he knows what he's worth, and whatever, he's doing his thing.
And it wasn't even him. It was his
Right.
coach.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his coach. His
Yeah.
coach. Oh, the guy that holds pads for him.
Yeah. Richard Perez, I think that's his name.
Yeah, what a legend that guy
Yeah.
is.
He's he's an OG. You could tell straight up
Oh,
OG.
for sure, for
He
sure.
might not
Yo,
say
he's an
much.
OG holding pads for like these guys fighting for like the highest level, like holding pads in his garage for him, like an OG. Like I've seen videos of it before. Like yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But hey, he's smart though, because the more Nate gets paid,
The
the
more he's
more he
getting
gets
paid.
paid. He's
Hell
smart.
yeah.
Like he's like, hey, 20 million. What's 20% of 20 million? Think about that. You know what I mean? Like imagine how much he would get a percentage of what he gets.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
crazy. Like, of course, if you say 20 million, of course he's not gonna get 20 million, but that 20 million might lead to 10 million.
Right.
And that's still fucking record breaking for the UFC.
Yep.
And that trilogy, I think that's gonna happen this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's gonna be the biggest fight in UFC history. For real.
Yeah.
I think so. Because John Jones, what do you think about John Jones, man?
I don't know. I think I like who knows like when you're reading stuff like what it means or where it's from, but like I read some article today, like I think it was someone from the doping agency or whatever that was like, I've never seen, like I don't remember what it was, but it made me think like, oh, maybe it's something else. But hey, I give props to DC for just saying like when he came out publicly after it happened, he was just like, look, he gets his due process or whatever, so we'll see what comes of it. And like didn't say much after that. So I respect that about him. But who knows, man? Like I don't know. I'm the same way. I'm just gonna wait until like I'm not gonna say anything or like think bad about him until actually you see what happens or like what evidence they have, like what they get from it.
I think that personally, I don't want it to be true.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I mean,
UFC
like
as a sport, or not UFC, but MMA as a sport loses one of its biggest stars,
yeah,
probably
for
the
sure.
greatest fighter ever to enter
Oh, I agree
a cage.
100%, bro. I agree with that 100% that he's the greatest fighter. Like the
But if
things
he's
that
taking steroids, then he's not.
right no, then he's not. Then he's cheated. Like there's no denying that John Jones is like he's extremely skilled. There's no and special. There's no denying that. But it really taints his whole legacy if that is the case, that he has been doing stuff. clearly he's no saint, and like, but none of us are, you know.
Yeah.
His stuff just got aired out, so I guess I agree with you. Like, I hope it's not true. Like, I would prefer DC. I was rooting for DC to win that fight, and I think he did a great job until what happened. But it is what it is, and but if it is true, like, it really tarnishes his legacy.
Yeah, man. I just don't want to believe it, man. Because if he gets caught, that's 4 years. He's done.
Yeah, bro. Like, he
Or he
gets to
just
come
says
back
"fuck you" and goes to Russia,
and gets
or comes to
paid.
Asia and
But I
gets
don't even
paid.
know. Like, I don't know if they'd be willing to pay. He'd have to fight like once a year, bro, because I don't think they could pay him that much. But who knows, bro?
You never know what ACB could pay him.
Yep.
Because dudes are like turning down UFC contracts to stay with ACB.
Yeah. It's, bro, when
That says a lot.
they got money, man. They got, like, yeah, because they got money.
And
Like, ACB, Akhmat, they got money.
yeah. So ACB, they're like squeezing into the Asian market a little bit. They're sliding in there slowly. They're gonna start going into China, and they're
Yeah.
gonna start going into Australia. They're gonna start squeezing in there. Next, they're gonna have a show in fucking, Hong Kong or some shit like that. You never know what's gonna happen with those guys. So I think they're one of the promotions to look out for.
Oh,
And a
I
lot of
agree
dudes are moving
100%.
over there.
I agree 100%. Like, we have a lot of guys fighting for them. But, like, that's the thing about, like, ACB. Like, they've been doing a great job for like the last year or two or whatever it is, and they're only getting bigger, and ain't nobody stopping them from growing either because they have the money to do it.
After Conor lost, RDA, Aldo, Khabib, they all
Everyone.
come out calling out Conor. I think that's straight bitch moves, man. All of those dudes, man. Like, number one, RDA, he's a fucking welterweight now.
Yeah.
He got knocked the fuck out by Eddie Alvarez and lost the title. That fight ain't gonna even come close to happening. So why would you even fucking say anything to degrade McGregor? Aldo got knocked out by McGregor. That fight ain't happening anytime soon. And he's not gonna go down to featherweight. And if he
Right.
does go down to featherweight, he's gonna be fighting Max.
Yeah.
And Khabib, that fool can't even make weight, and he's been out for fucking. I saw some figure about he's fought twice in like almost 4 years in the UFC.
That's insane.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, everyone's like, yo, Conor, he's Conor, bro. He's doing his thing, and he's clearly after his last payday. Like, if you don't want to fight, he don't have to. But yo, he will fight. I believe that he's a fighter. But people are always gonna hate, and they're gonna try to like, they be the money fight. They're gonna get paid. So yeah.
Man, it's
Not much to
terrible,
say
man.
about it. I mean, it is what it is. Like, they know everybody. That's why everyone's calling them out. They know if they fight them, they're gonna get paid. So I guess in their position, why not like try to get that fight?
For sure. I want to play this. I want you to listen to this, and I want to see what you have to say about this.
Okay.
Listen.
I can't really hear it. Snoop Dogg. It's so ridiculous.
Hey,
Has
to
there
me,
been
that's
any
one of the videos of the year right there.
bro, it's so ridiculous. Has there been any like backlash from him from like Dana or anything because he's doing the contender series?
No, man. Like, it's the fighters. The fighters are, they want him to, not be a part of the UFC commentating. But the thing is, Snoop Dogg To me, yeah, he works for the UFC, but the UFC didn't bring him in because he knows about fighting.
Right. They
The
brought him in
UFC
because he's
brought him in
Snoop
because
Dogg.
he's fucking Snoop Dogg.
Right.
He's gonna fucking sit there and say shit like he came to a gang fight with a butter knife. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
gonna say shit like that. Why? Because it's funny.
Yeah, and it creates people talking about it like what we're doing right now.
Exactly. So all these fighters saying that he should be, fired. Yes, he should, not be saying these types of things if he works for the UFC. But the UFC's purpose of him being an employee is not to be the fucking analyst. It's to fucking be Snoop Dogg. And if
Right.
he's not
And
Snoop Dogg, then what's the fucking point of having him on the Contender Series doing the Snoopcast?
yeah, he's funny, bro. And you're right. Clearly, he's having a good time with him.
Exactly.
But
They're fucking drinking and smoking.
yeah,
Well,
it's
nobody says anything about that shit.
right. No, I agree with you, bro. Like it is what it is. Like if you're gonna have that guy on there, like that, someone who like says and does that kind of stuff, like and whatever, like I'm off, like do your thing, whatever. But like, yeah, I mean, I agree with you, bro. Like it is what it is. Like it's Snoop Dogg. He's gonna do what he wants. And if they don't like it and they fire him, then Snoop Dogg's he's just like whatever. Like I did my thing. I did the podcast for the UFC Contender Series and whatever. I'm still making money. So
I think Snoop Dogg is like part owner though.
of
UFC.
oh really?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he has a piece of it because there's so many people that own parts of the UFC now.
Oh, then who like if he's part of like because I haven't heard that and if it's true, then like he's a shareholder. He can do the fuck he wants.
Exactly. And him causing buzz for his
It's
own
good.
fighters for talking shit about because hey, Dana White says shit about the fighters too.
Yeah.
And you don't see them saying fire Dana White.
Right. Of course
So
not.
what's
Because they
the
ain't gonna
fucking
buy.
point?
Yeah.
Like
They better
Snoop
realize then they
hey,
should bite the hand that feeds them.
yeah, Snoop Dogg
Well,
is gonna roll with
Snoopy
Floyd.
Snoop. Let's get Snoop on the podcast.
For real. If he's not gonna go on Rogan, he ain't definitely going on none of the other ones, you know what I mean? Like, if Rogan could get him on there. But the Snoop,
Hey
man,
Snoop, we got love for you, baby.
for sure.
If
Dude,
you're
I
listening.
dude, I I don't even really watch the Contender series, but if I do,
Bits and
that shit's on the
pieces.
Snoopcast.
Yeah.
I ain't listening to nothing else, but he says some funny ass shit.
Yo, he is a
Like
funny
he's
guy,
off
bro.
the hook with his fucking. He used to be a pimp. So if you used to be a pimp, you gotta have that game. You gotta have that fucking.
Oh,
You
and
know.
his hand is way strong.
Yeah, exactly. So he has all those fucking little sayings and shit like coming to a gang fight with a butter knife. Like who comes up with shit like that? Only Snoop Dogg. So
Snoop.
you gotta let him do what he does. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. All these people trying to they're trying to create their own little buzz, I think, to chase after Snoop Dogg. But who knows? Um, man, you know who else is calling out Conor McGregor?
Who?
The Road FC lightweight champion, A-Sol Kwon.
Hey, does the owner of Road FC got that much money?
No, but he's
Was he?
calling them out though. Like I wanna
Yeah,
read to
but he
you what he
beat
wrote.
Khabib too, right?
Yeah, he was calling out Khabib at the press conference because uh Khabib was the biggest, star.
Does he have a clause in his contract that he can go fight in the UFC?
Nah, man. Those guys don't have no UFC clause.
Then he's barking up the wrong tree.
Exactly. So I'm gonna read to you because he wrote it in English,
How
which
is it
is I
good
know that
English?
his English is not up to par, but somebody must have helped him. Let me read to
I
you
said,
what it
oh,
says.
kamsamida.
No, it doesn't say that. It says McGregor, Money Gregor. That's what it says. McGregor, Money Gregor. The old retired Mayweather. And now you want to fight Diaz again? Pick on your own size, you fucking piece of shit.
Oh wow.
McGregor, oh yeah. We call you Baldy in Korea. Ha ha ha. Isn't it time to fight in the Asian market? I am the lightweight MMA champion in Asia and more famous than you are over here. We have our own TV show on one of the biggest broadcast companies in Korea, along with 1.4 billion Chinese viewers on CCTV. I know you're dumb, but you know what I'm saying, right? You're not a fighter. You're a businessman. Let me beat the shit out of you. Ha ha ha. And then
What
you
a
got a
ledge.
picture of him, like Photoshop, punching McGregor in the face.
Is this A-Sol?
Yeah,
What a ledge.
yeah. It's funny though, like,
It is funny
you
because
know.
the way that he said it and worded it in English is funny.
And then somebody put the meme out on the bottom. It says, "Who the fuck is that guy?" with Conor McGregor at the press conference. That's just funny, man. Like everybody wants to call out Conor. Like he is the biggest star ever in
Yeah,
MMA
for
history.
sure. 100%. Bro, I just finished reading his coach's book last week.
Yeah.
It gives like a good insight to like their like whole team and like Connor and stuff as a youngster. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like,
It's man, like, bro, love him or hate him, you have to respect what the dude's
oh,
done.
for real. Like
Like, and
he
anyone that hates on him, like, and says like whatever, like, you cannot hate on the fact that he's pretty much done everything he's gonna say, and then he somehow secured like the biggest like fight spectacle in in our lifetime. Like, it's insane. Whether they chatted before the fight and whether it was like they would knock down, drag out, it doesn't matter. Like, he somehow convinced everyone that he should fight one of the greatest ever in boxing, and he did it, and he got paid.
you know why? Remember Floyd was walking out and he was wearing that face mask?
Yeah.
You know why he was wearing that?
No.
It was a tribute to Dead Presidents, the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And because he was stealing all that money, fool. That's why he wore that fucking mask, a tribute to dead presidents, because he was taking all that money. And also, they said that like he delayed the fight.
Was it him or was it them delaying it? Because I know that like we watched it. I watched it in in Callout where I was at in like a tent because I stayed in a tent last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a Gucci tent, like nice bed, like furniture, everything.
Oh, I heard that in Korea it's called glamping, glamour camping,
Well, that's
glamping.
what it was. We were glamping, and like on the TV, like my girlfriend was like, "Oh, it was like some Thai website said that it was going to be delayed," and I was like, "What? Going to be delayed?" And then like they started showing the Floyd fight with like Berto or something, and then like obviously it was delayed and stuff. But yeah, they're getting them pay-per-view buys.
For real. Well, they're saying that it's like 6.5 million or some shit like that. So
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. That's insane.
that is insane, man. Those guys made so much money off some bullshit ass, and it's just basically one fight too. It's not like it's like a full card, like nobody
Yeah.
watched those other fights.
No, bro, I was like flicking through Facebook and Instagram during the other fight. The fight before that, I watched pretty closely, but the other fights, bro, I was just like skimming through social media.
Yeah, man. Well, now that it's over, I'm kind of glad it's over now. So now we could get back to Conor fighting in MMA or possibly fighting in MMA in the
Yeah, I agree with
UFC.
that. Like, I think
And
he'll
this
fight.
is more exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, so we can move on. Before we end the show, I want to talk about RIZIN. Because RIZIN right now they're having the bantamweight tournament, and they're also
Yeah.
having the women's super atomweight tournament. But I want to talk about the men's bantamweight tournament, right? Because right now you got
Is everyone in it?
Horiguchi's in it. He won. Now Kawajiri was just announced to fight in
Oh, really?
and he's cutting down from he's a
45.
featherweight, right?
Yeah.
But he's cutting down. But he has been from the press conference. They were saying is that, or he was saying that he was secretly cutting down on his own to test his weight cut, like if he can do it or not. And he did it already, like in July or something. So now he's just maintaining his weight around like 150 pounds, and
Hey,
also,
he ain't beating Horiguchi.
but listen to this: the like Kawajiri is one of the most famous more famous guys, right?
Yeah.
In Japan, because he's been fighting forever, UFC, all that shit, right? And his purpose of fighting in the tournament is to go after Horiguchi. That's what he said in the press conference. He's kind of talking shit a little bit, which is rare in
Yeah.
Japanese MMA. He said he's going after Horiguchi. Also, the King of Pancrase, the Bantamweight King of Pancrase, Ishiwatari, he also said in an article you can read that I published on MMA Today, he also said that he's going after Horiguchi too, because he lost to Horiguchi a few years back when Horiguchi was fighting before he went to the UFC. In a 5-round fight, they went back and forth, but he lost in the 5th round via TKO. So he wants to get revenge. So like all these guys that are pretty much the top guys in Japan, they're entering that tournament now, and they're going to fight at the next show in October. Man, to me, I don't understand why people are not talking about this fucking tournament, because you got Horiguchi, one of the best bantamweights.
Because Western countries don't care about Asian MMA, and they should, because it's where it's at.
Yeah, so if you want to know about that shit, you go to fucking MMA Today, the shit that I'll be putting out, and read that shit, because I cover and all that shit for everybody. Because eventually people are going to start watching it, especially when all these foreigners or even Americans start going to RIZIN.
Yeah.
Just like they've been going to ACB and fighting.
Right.
They're going to start going to RIZIN and fighting over there, and it's going to fucking start getting bigger.
Bro,
to me, right
yeah.
now, Japanese
RIZIN
MMA is blowing up. It kind of went
Yeah, it was
stagnant
for a while, but there's no like. I fought in America, I fought in China, I fought in Lebanon, and I fought in Japan, and there's nowhere like fighting in Japan. The fans are incredible. They respect all aspects of MMA. You could hear a pin drop during the fights, but just like they love the fighters. You know, as long as you fight hard, win or lose, they don't care. They love fighting, and it's like a pretty cool thing to be a part of. And even like I've been to Japan and Tokyo cornering people in the UFC. It's the same thing. You could hear, like, I remember cornering Nick Hine one time and just like looking at the other guy in the corner and be like, man, I think everyone in the whole entire arena, which holds I don't know how many thousands of people, I was like, I think everyone can hear what we're saying, like, because it's that quiet. But it's just like it's an incredible atmosphere to be a part of.
Yeah, man. Japanese MMA is resurgence right now.
Yeah, it's such a show. Like outside of the UFC, like the UFC is the UFC, but like the other promotions, like it's a real big show. You know, like Asians are big on the whole like entire like theatrics and show of MMA. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. RIZIN got some fucking young fighters that are coming up that could throw the fuck down, and people start noticing that shit.
Mate Tension.
Yeah.
Dude is incredible.
Youngster too. Man, even the women that are fighting. Man, even Pancrase, they just had 2 champions signed to the UFC.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to fight at UFC Japan coming up in a couple weeks.
In my opinion, the Japanese are the most skillful fighters. I think the Koreans are like the toughest and hardest, but the Japanese are definitely like the most skillful fighters in Asia.
Right now, the Japanese are making more noise than the Korean fighters, because there's always been that struggle between the Koreans and the Japanese.
I feel like the Koreans, like, they only care about what's going on in Korea.
That's also true too. Like even right now with like the Zombie, he's out for a while, man, because his knee's all fucked up. He just had surgery. I just saw him at the TFC show last month. He was there cornering his fighter, but he was walking around gingerly on that knee because I think he just had that surgery done.
Yeah.
So he's out for a while, and he had all his shit busted, ACL, MCL, everything was busted. They said.
Man, that sucks. That's a long road to recovery.
Exactly. And if he comes back too fast, he might just rip his shit apart again.
Yep.
You know, so he's gone. You got the Korean Superboy. He's not gonna fight until the end of the year, and he hasn't announced his fight either. You got Stun Gun. He's about to do a no-gi fight. Not even a fight. He's gonna do a no-gi match against Keenan Cornelius. You know Keenan Cornelius?
Yes. The jiu-jitsu phenom.
In Korea in October, he's going to face Stun Gun in a no-gi grappling match.
I saw that last week online.
Yeah. So, stuff like that is going on in Korea, but like the MMA, you got Road, you got TFC, but Japan seems like they're trying to bring more noise to themselves, and that's
Yeah.
cool too. And Korea's gonna come back and do something for themselves too. It's I don't know, man. Like I think Korea needs to bring more bigger names from abroad to kind of draw the international talent
Yeah.
or audience a little better. But other than that, I don't know. Both, I think Asia is bigger than ever. Southeast
Yeah, I
Asia,
agree. I agree.
Korea, Japan,
It's an
China, like
exciting time. Yeah.
yeah,
China is like growing. It's an exciting time in Asian MMA.
especially with the UFC going to fucking Shanghai.
Yeah, we just need to get some top people in there.
Yeah, Thai, yeah, that's it. Thai's gonna start blowing up. When every country is like having their representatives come out in all the different promotions and fighting each other, that's when you know it's at its peak.
Right.
But right now, it's still growing. It hasn't even peaked yet. People thought Pride was the peak, but that wasn't the peak, man. We're still fucking
Yeah.
growing, and that's
We're
it.
not we're not even that many years into the game. But even for myself, like I've been in Thailand almost 3.5 years. And from the first like year and a half that I've been here to now, I've seen like a change in Thai MMA from like, you know, just normal people like knowing no one knew like 2 years ago what the UFC was. But now you have like the UFC like plastered on like buses and stuff in Bangkok. And people know like what the ONE FC is. Like Muay Thai trainers at our gym used to think like MMA was just for like idiots that had no like skill, but now they understand. You
Mm,
have Thai trainers like converting into MMA, so it's a pretty exciting time for Southeast Asian MMA and
for
Asian
sure.
MMA as a whole.
For sure. And also in the next couple months, there's gonna be a lot of shows in Asia with One Championship, with
Yeah,
RIZIN, with Road. Like it's gonna be a busy, like the last 3 months are gonna be really fucking busy in this
yeah.
region. Full Metal Dojo is gonna pop off, you know,
Rock Wars this month in
yeah,
Pattaya.
Rock Wars, a lot of shit, man. Even like Thailand Fighting Championship is gonna, do their little thing too.
Yep,
So, you know, it's a good time for anybody that's involved in the sport.
it's
And
flourishing.
for sure. So yeah, well that's it, man. It's over.
Hopefully, we'll have a big guest on next week. We're still waiting for confirmation. However, hopefully it will be next week, if not in the near future.
Yeah, for sure. Um, just look for more guests, man, in the future, and maybe we'll have like Alex should be coming on soon.
Yeah, we'll get
Right.
Alex on.
And
He was going to come tonight, but he's in Indeed getting tattooed right now. So if you come to Phuket from anywhere, make sure you get tatted up at Indeed. But
for
yeah,
sure, for sure.
he'll be on in the near future, and we have a couple other people lined up as well.
Is Dave Luke Dukes down there or is he gone?
No, he's on vacation, bro. He just retained his belt,
All right.
and I think he's in Russia right now.
Damn.
His wife's Russian, I
Okay.
believe Russian or Russian Canadian. I can't remember. But anyways, I saw him on Instagram counting like hundreds of dollars out in a taxi. So he's doing this thing in Russia right now. He should be back in the next couple weeks.
All right. So whenever he gets back, we definitely
We'll definitely have him on because I've heard quite a few stories. Because Imalo and Jake Hume both went to Myanmar with him and Monica, for their fights. So yeah.
Yeah. So look for those things to pop off. All right, George. It was good talking to you.
All right, homie.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.